Virtual machine is a very good technique when we are going to learn an operating system and making elaborations with it. Imagine that we can, inside of our main operating system, we can run a virtual machine that is like a virtual computer and install the operating system on that virtual machine, which won't affect the host operating system. So we can elaborate with other operating system while running our main operating system. I'm going to introduce you to Virtualbox, which we will use in this case. We go directly by visiting the website virtualbox.org. And I'm going to download the one that is for my host operating system. This is the one I need. So imagine that when running this virtual machine, you can easily install FreeBSD, and while it's installed, you can set up more virtual machines with FreeBSD and have many of them running on the same computer, depending on how fast your computer is. While they're installed, you can easily swap between reading the documentation on the main operating system's web browser and then experimenting in the VirtualBox. My VirtualBox is now downloaded, so we are ready to install it. I'm going to minimize these two. And I simply run this. I apologize, my Windows is installed like with Swedish language, but I'm going to set the VirtualBox to English language as well. I'm going to install this with the default settings here, just to be simple. I won't cover the VirtualBox in detail, but I will describe it as good as you need to get it starting and running. And install this one. Install that also. And now it's finished and I can start the program. This is in Swedish language now, so I want to change this to English. I think it should be good enough. Okay, I think you will be familiar with this if I put it like this. So this is the VirtualBox basically. And what we want to do is to create a new virtual machine. Now it's the type of virtual machine is already defined here, but I noticed something really cool in VirtualBox. It's that if I type FreeBSD, it will automatically select it for us. Since the VirtualBox is running on a 32-bit operating system, I am limited to only being able to make the 32-bit machines here, as you can see in between the parentheses. So I need to make sure that my image is 32-bit that I will use. So let me show you. This is the downloaded image of FreeBSD. Here stands FreeBSD version 10.1, and here I386 means that this is an 32-bit version. So we continue with next. Memory size recommended. Let's take 256 megabytes just to be sure. In case this is not enough, when you install, you can just increase it as much as you can, of course, and as much as you need, depending on your computer hardware. I continue with next. A hard disk drive is a virtual file on the computer, and that's what makes virtual machines so good, because we are not using the physical drive, we are using the an file instead. So we continue with create here. This hard drive file type is more, as I understand it, is that if we want to being able to use it with other virtual machines, like I think VMDK is for VMware Workstation Virtualization, if I'm not wrong, but we can stick with the default one. If you wonder what dynamically allocation is and fixed size between disks, is that imagine that we want to make a disk that is 20 gigabyte maximum. If I select the fixed size, this file that emulates the hard disk drive will become 20 gigabyte. Perhaps that's not what we want, because that will take unnecessary space. If our operating system just need 2 gigabyte, the file will just be 2 gigabyte if we are running the dynamic allocation. So dynamic allocation is better if we don't want to waste too much space when we make collaborations, of course. We will have it will allocate automatically up to the maximum size. So it allocates while needed more data, but it cannot reach more than the maximum size set to the virtual hard disk. And as you can read here, a fixed hard disk drive may take longer to create on some system, but is often faster to use. So that's the advantage of using a fixed size. But I stick with dynamic allocation. I don't feel that I need that performance. Here is the file location and size. So if you want to change the location, you press there. The virtual hard disk drive, I don't want 2 gigabyte. I think I want to increase it to, should we say 20? I type 20 gigabyte there, should be enough. And then we take create. And we have a virtual machine ready to be started. Remember I told you that you don't need to burn the image to CD when using virtual machine, and that's a good thing, that we don't need to waste any compact disk if we just want to test the system and run it virtually. So how do we proceed? Very simple, just by going up here, taking start when selecting the correct machine. Now it will tell us to select the startup disk, which will be the boot disk. You can't select the host drive, but you want to select the image, then you choose this little browse icon here. And we go to our file, the folder where we were getting the file from, and it's here. Here is the installation image. And then we take open, and we can take start. So we inserted the disk into the computer. Let's close these dialogues. And here we have it. FreeBSD is booting inside a Virtualbox. So we are sandboxing a computer, FreeBSD, right now. You should be able to continue with the installation now inside the virtual machine. And you can just simply manage it much easier as a virtual machine, according to after some experience I had with using virtual machine. I think it's a really wonderful technique today. In case you need to change CD, you can simply right click there and get some option for it, and you can explore it. And as I said before, I won't go into any much details right now about the Virtualbox. Just make sure that you get it up and running like this. And then you just click inside of the box, and it gives some hints also. Okay. Perfect. Now you can navigate here and install the system. So now you're ready to continue with the next video and make an installation. If you prefer to have an automatic partitioning, I think the next video will be perfect. If you want a manual partitioning, I would recommend you to jump to the 2 videos forward for the manual partitioning. All right. Good luck and have fun now with installing FreeBSD. This will be a very fun Unix journey. Or I should say Unix-like operating system journey. That's more important.